my name is May, and I live in Florida. My parents were both lawyers, so they were mostly away for work, and that left me alone with my little sister June. June was a little different from other kids because she didn't have an arm below her left elbow, but I never let her feel any less about herself because of that. Growing up, I made sure she was loved to bits, especially with my parents being away often. I took care of everything, from feeding her, bathing her, to taking her out for rides. But then once when she was 4, Mom took us to the shopping mall. While Mom was in the changing room, another woman with a little kid came there, and the kid started screaming when he saw June.
Freak! She's a freak! She's so scary, Mommy. She's gonna eat me just like she ate her arm.
OMG, this kid was frickin' crazy. I immediately tried to hush him so June wasn't scared, but then his mom went all bonkers on me. How dare you lay a hand on him, you crazy girl? My baby is all scared. That made me so mad.
That's enough, you ugly lady. There's nothing wrong with my sister, and you people should be the ones to leave because you're morons.
Mom rushed us out of there before I made a bigger scene, but June always looked sad after that incident, and that's when I had an idea. I asked Mom and Dad to get a prosthetic arm for June, and they agreed.
Oh, wow! This is so cool. Now I look just like you, May.
She hugged me tight, and I was the happiest to see her smile. Soon after, she joined her new school, but on the very first day, she came out crying when we went to pick her up. June, what's wrong? What happened?
The other kids, they laughed at my arm and made fun of me. I don't want to go back, ever.
It's okay. You can come with me to my school. We have a section for younger kids there. You'll be fine. I'll be there with you. Later, when we reached home, June said she didn't want anyone at the new school to know about her arm, so she was going to wear full-sleeved clothes and gloves all the time. But June, there's nothing wrong with you.
May, please, just keep this a secret. Promise you will?
And of course, I agreed. A few days later, when she joined my school, she looked quite happy after blending in with the kids just fine. And I made sure to check up on her once in a while. Grades passed by, and then one day, as I was watching her from the window outside her class, I suddenly lost my balance and tripped, but someone caught me just in time. It was my senior, Matt. He was known in school for being a math genius. Thanks. I would have fallen so hard if it wasn't for you. I wouldn't have let that happen. I'm Matt, and you don't look like a kid, so what are you doing in the junior section? Oh, I was just keeping an eye on my little sister. I'm May from 10th grade, by the way. Okay, May from 10th grade. Do you want to grab some lunch? Whoa, that was sudden. But sure, we had lunch together and I had a really great time talking with him. I was looking forward to it again. But the next day, a senior girl showed up instead of Matt and splashed a full cup of coffee in my face. You witch. This is your last warning. Stay away from my boyfriend or else. Are you crazy? And who's your boyfriend anyway? Oh, don't act so innocent now. I know you're trying to steal Matt away, but I won't let that happen on my watch. Well, you're crazy to think that. We just had lunch once. I don't even know him that well. Oh, and you had lunch with him without knowing him, you witchy gold digger. Oh my God. She was a psycho. Before I could even reply, she jumped onto me. We both broke into a wild fight and ended up in a pile of food on the food counter. And we ended up in detention. But the very next day, I found June crying in the playground as Jessie and her friends were dumping all the things from her bag into the garbage bin. She was getting back at me by bullying my sister now? I marched up to her furiously and pulled her hair, and she turned around and attacked me. Luckily, the principal walked by just then, and when she found out what Jessie was doing, she suspended her for 3 weeks. When Matt heard about this, he came running to me and explained everything. I'm so sorry about Jessie, May. We broke up months ago, but she just won't accept it. I was just really happy to hear he wasn't dating that witch. I really enjoyed Matt's company, and he sure enjoyed mine. I even went to watch all his quiz competitions, and once after he won, he came running to me. May from 10th grade, I really like you. Will you be my girlfriend? OMG! Everyone stood there in shock, and I gasped as I said, yes, of course, Matt. He picked me up in his arms, and we kissed like no one was watching. It felt like I was on cloud 9. I was so excited that I went straight to June to tell her. But just as we reached there, I saw June push someone to the ground. June, what are you doing? As soon as she saw me, she came running to me. Oh, May, those mean girls were pushing me around, so I just pushed them back. You told me to be strong, right? Did I do something wrong? Oh, no, June. You stood up for yourself. I'm proud of you. But they're saying they'll report me to the principal. Am I in trouble? Oh, no, you're not. You just wait right here. I went straight to the kids and screamed. If any of you says anything to my sister, I'm gonna toss you like juggling balls in the air. Got it? The kids nodded in horror, and June and I high-fived as we left. And then I told her about Matt, and she had the best reaction. After that, Matt and I started hanging out together all the time. On my 15th birthday, Matt decided to throw me a huge party at his house. And I had so much fun there. We danced till our feet hurt. But by the time I reached home, it was pretty late. I saw June sleeping on the couch, and there was a cake on the table and balloons all over the walls. Then I gently woke her up. Hey, sweetie, I'm so sorry it got so late. May, you're back. And then she looked at the clock, all sad.
It's 12:45. Your birthday is over. Where were you? We always celebrated together.
And she furiously walked away from me. I felt so terrible. I totally forgot she must be waiting to surprise me. So I decided to make it up to her. I planned a theme park trip for the three of us, and June was super excited about it. When we reached there, the first thing she wanted was ice cream, but the stall was really crowded. Matt, just stay with her for a while I go get us some ice cream, okay? He held her hand tight and nodded, but when I returned, I was shocked to see that June was lost and Matt was looking for her. Matt, how could you be so careless? I told you. She was right here holding my hand, and then she just slipped through. I don't know how. Forget it. Just help me look for her now. We looked for her for hours, and with each passing minute, I was getting crazy anxious. Then 3 hours later, I received a call on my phone, and it was June. She was calling from some phone booth. When we got there, we saw June covered in mud and crying like crazy.
Oh, May.
Oh my God, June, what happened? Who?
After you left, some woman pulled me away. I called out to Matt so loud, but he didn't even notice. I don't know where she was taking me, but I escaped from the car when she stopped for fuel. I'm so scared, May. Please take me home.
I turned to Matt. I should have never trusted you with my sister. What was I even thinking? Matt tried to explain, but I just took June's hand and stormed out of there. When we got home, I got June all cleaned up and even slept with her to make her feel safe. The next day when we went to school, June asked me to forgive Matt, first thing. It wasn't his fault, you know. Let's look for him and make things up. June was right. Maybe I overreacted. We looked for him around the school, but then I found him kissing Jessie in the backyard. Matt, you cheater! How could you? His face turned white as a ghost. May, I can explain. This isn't what it looks like. Oh, it's exactly what it looks like. Just shut up. And Matt, we're done. I don't ever want to see your face again. He tried to run after me, but the witch Jessie stopped him, and honestly, I didn't care. June hugged me while I cried my heart out.
What a jerk. He doesn't deserve you, May. It's okay. I'm here for you. I'll always be here for you. Please don't cry.
The next few days were hard for me, but June tried her best to make me smile, and even brought me hot chocolate in bed. She was the sweetest. But at school, Matt was trying to follow me again. So I just went into the girls' room and locked myself in a stall to escape. As I waited there, I suddenly heard familiar voices. June and Jessie?
Are you crazy? Why did you talk to me in front of everyone? May could have seen us.
I wanted to thank you, but I'm also really curious. Why did you help me? May's your sister, after all.
That's none of your business. You got what you wanted. Now just get lost and don't talk to me again.
And she just stormed out. I couldn't believe my ears. My own sister helped my boyfriend get back with his ex? But why? As I slammed the door open, Jessie looked shocked. You witch! You used my innocent sister to get my boyfriend? I pulled her by her collar, but she just pushed me aside and cackled like a witch.
Innocent? It was your sister's idea. Go on, ask her.
Like I'd believe her. But I had to ask June what was going on. I followed June around the hallway, and what I found shook me. I saw her snatch another kid's lunch and push her to the ground.
You dumbo. No lunch for you until you complete my homework.
Oh, God. Who was this girl? What are you doing, June? You pretended to be bullied in front of me, but you were the bully this entire time?
No, wait, I can explain.
I even heard you talking to Jessie in the bathroom. I heard everything. What's wrong with you? As I turned away from her, she held my hand and tried to stop me, but I just shook it away from her. As I did, her prosthetic arm detached and fell to the ground. Everyone around us gasped and started whispering, "Oh my God, look at her hand." Wow, the big bully is actually a big weirdo. Oh my God. I stepped forward to help June, but she just picked up her arm and ran away crying. I wanted to follow her, but I was also so furious. When I reached home and my anger calmed down, I went to check on her, but she wouldn't open the door. Ugh, she was so stubborn. The next day at school, I heard kids whispering about June, calling her a cyborg and a robot. OMG, I had to find June. I knew she wouldn't be taking it well. I looked for her in the classroom, but she wasn't there. And then, as I was passing by the gym, I heard her shout. I looked in to see Jessie and some of June's classmates tossing her prosthetic arm around and laughing.
Just wanted to check if the rumors were true.
You are a freak. Give that back before I kill you.
I'd like to see you try.
Before I could jump at her, someone held me back. It was Matt, and standing next to him was the gym teacher looking furious. He screamed at Jessie and the kids that he'd get them expelled and marched them straight to the principal's office. June, are you okay?
Oh, May, Matt, thank you for saving me. And I'm sorry, you guys.